To be an adventurer.
Finally, you've come. The others, they're... Oh, wait. Where is Mendius? Or Anna? You're not one of the fabulous five. That's it, we're dead. Ahu's damned automaton. It'll kill us all! Nothing much. He's some kind of wizard, isn't he? All I know is that that monstrosity down there has his signature engraved on it. He's responsible for the madness that haunts this place. And I'll bet he's just as demented as the contraptions he creates. Fabulous, huh? Fabulously lying? Cheating dogs is what they are. They sent me and my mates to this cave to deal with what was supposed to be an erratic little piece of wizardry. But it turns out to be a real killer. What do they expect from us? I never held a sword before in my life. They said they'd be right behind us, show us the ropes. But they never showed, and now look at us. Oh, please, I implore you. If you can, save me. I'm just a farmer down on his luck. The Fabulous Five. They promised me adventure and riches. But what lurks here? It is certain death. You look like a veteran warrior if ever I saw one.
This combination doesn't seem to do anything.
So try another!
Quickly! Another charge! Another charge! Stand clear, comrades! He's about to burst! Ready to blow! Here! I'm on it! Ready to blow!
How could that happen?
My will is strong, my aim is true.
Race wacky! Here! I'm on it! Ready to blow! Race wacky! Here! I'm on it! Ready to blow!
what a battle that was. I never thought I'd make it, and I wouldn't have if it wasn't for your timely intervention. Can't believe the others are all dead. But damn, it's good to be alive. Thank you, my friend. I'll head back to Sicil to the Legion barracks. I've a few nasty cuts in me, and those Legionnaires will know better than anyone else how to treat combat wounds.
Poor kid. Slaughtered by undead by the looks of it.
On what was probably his first mission, too. Holy hellhounds! We were lucky to escape that abomination without being zapped into jerky. I reckon I couldn't have designed a better example of the magical menace myself. And all this from Arhu, our so-called ally. You ask me, we'd all be better off if those wizarding nutters were quarantined on their own little island. Let them blast each other to bits and leave the rest of us in peace. Well, I'd gladly go if you'd take the first caravan to the seaside of soft, self-righteous sods. Or better yet, I'll tell you what. No one, wizards included, will be compelled to go any silly anywhere. And we'll all march happily onward in the battle against Source. Yes?
Seems these thugs are angling for a fight.
In that case, I'd say we ought to oblige them. When my arrow tastes blood, it craves more!
spectacular indeed to behold how quickly your powers grow. There is a superhuman quality to your progress that both impresses and pleases me. Do continue to pursue the depths of your potential with relentless resolution. Forswear the pitfalls of morality. Forswear both good and evil. The promises of duty and ambition. Let power be the end of its own means, and nothing in this world will be able to stand in your way. And there we have it. The weak-mindedness that, like a cancer, eats away at the foundations of strength and dominion. That devours and grows until it undoes the drive for power completely. Know ye then, weak-minded ones, that only if you cast aside all desire and instead focus on the utter mental and physical mastery of supremacy over all, the means as well as the ends will melt into ultimate purpose. This purpose I have my own. As do you, that much is clear. So, let us continue our journey, for it is in the journey that purpose takes shape. Go forth, ever on, before grinning time turns us into frail, failed fools.
Sorry, pal, but not a soul's permitted to disturb the enlightened one. On guard.
Me. We won't be hearing from you for a while.
Vanquish my foes.
What just happened?
I can smell your fear!
This will put you in your place.
Intriguing, isn't it? A body washed ashore in the middle of a deserted beach. Who was he? What happened to him? Was he friend or foe? Your mind is bubbling with questions. Well, you are quite in luck. Yes, quite in luck. For I have a unique grasp, get it, on this situation indeed. What do I know? What don't I know? His name I do not know. But I can tell you he was a very experienced pearl diver. But if— Oh, I'm so glad you asked, for this is where the story grows extra juicy. He was talking to those watcher statues on top of the cliff. We'll grant you a wish, they said. I want to swim like a fish, he said. Ta-da! You can now breathe underwater, they said. So I know that for sure. Yesterday, I was enjoying the mid-afternoon sun when I heard a strange gurgling. I looked toward shore, and there it was, the body of the pearl diver. My friends, if I had more of them, would call me Pincer. If you ever feel like converse nothing, oh, not so much. They've been here, leaving already? Come back. Oh, well, don't be a stranger.
Can you imagine risking life and limb for mere riches?
Every tadpole aspires to be a frog. Ambition is what drives the world.
Ambition may drive the world, but it drives it into a dangerous position.
This seems to be the location mentioned in Evelyn's diary.
It looks like it, but where's the entrance?
Excuse me, you're standing just exactly in my sun. Me? Oh, I'm long retired now. Enjoying the sunshine is far preferable to gutting rabbits over silly stones, after all. But they say a sorcerer's work is never done, but I seem to have finished mine quite in time to enjoy my golden years. Source murder, Cecile. Oh, I don't concern myself with such matters anymore. Channeling Source is more hassle than it's worth, and Cecile's a fish-reeking backwater I've no interest in visiting. Well, most certainly, though I haven't practiced in quite a few years. All the ferocity and fire of it just can't hold my interest the way a mellow afternoon on the beach can. You're giving me a strange sort of look, my friend. Is the heat getting to you?
It should be our duty to end your wicked life. But you just seem so harmless.
Agreed. Abstain from sorcery and you'll have no problem with the likes of us.
Oh, Source Hunter, are you? Oh. Aren't Source Hunters supposed to be a bit, well, fierce and awe-inspiring? You look more like you'd like to settle down for a bit of sunbathing with yours truly. Help yourself then, it's a big beach. Go on then.
How can I help you, my friend? By all means. And what might those be? So the Sparkmaster 5000 has been reduced to scrap, has it? A shame, really. But if your actions saved lives, I suppose you may consider its demise a success.
Their lair isn't to be found by the lighthouse.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. Good to see you. My brave troops were just telling me how they proudly vanquished the undead near the lighthouse. Did you get to witness my valiant soldiers in action?
Really? I could have sworn we were the ones who inspected the lighthouse.
Right you are. We did all the work while they cowered in the bushes.
What in the hells is the meaning of this, Legionnaires? You can't, Lieutenant. It's just... all the others had already perished. We feared for our lives. Hold your lying tongues. To the kitchens with the pair of you. You'll peel bloody potatoes till you die of monotony. Go! Go! Source Hunter. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help as well. We've been conducting a series of expeditions into undead territory, and I'm afraid I must admit they've met with very little success. The undead. I pitied them at first. Many among them were once kind and innocent civilians of Sicil after all. No longer do I feel that way, though. The bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your muscles and test the waters before blindly diving to your death. Lieutenant Selenia at your service. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition and even rivalry between our orders, but I, for one, have no intention of looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, Source Hunter. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. If ever we want to be victorious in Sicil, we have to track down the root of the undead uprising. Under the Pact of Volunteers, 3 expeditions were launched to do just that. 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation. The lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. I'll grant you that the 2 survivors of that expedition were a bit cowardly, but I can hardly blame them. There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place as any to start looking for necromancers, wouldn't you say? A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge on the subject may prove to be of use to them. My legionnaires. They all perished? How fate has treated them wantonly. And if it weren't for you, the archaeologist would surely have died as well. He has much to be thankful for. Were that I had. There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the 7 instead. All superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first spotted. So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment they make it back from a mission behind enemy lines. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see.
Welcome be, my friend, waitress. I'm an archaeologist and connoisseur of the undead. Because of my expertise, Lieutenant Selenia, a commander of the Legion in Sicil, wanted me to investigate the ancient burial mound just outside of town. Quite so. I live for the dead, so to speak. The combination of archaeology and a case of incidental necromantic magic is what sparked my interest in the field. Zombies are the results of vile necromancy in action. Among the resurrected dead, there are those who used to be wizards, and they can cast spells still. Should you encounter these menaces, always try to pick them off from afar. Don't let them get close, or they'll riddle you with the point. These ones in particular, the ones around Sicil, are the resurrected soldiers of Brachus, the last and most infamous in the line of sorcerer kings. He himself is supposed to be buried somewhere around here, but no one knows where the actual grave is. Long have I searched and deep have I dug, but so far I haven't found anything more spectacular than rusted weaponry and shards of pottery. Be that as it may, Brachus' soldiers stalk these lands anew, and they still fight like veterans. I told them. And don't be surprised if the dead use an unusual amount of magic against you. These soldiers were loyal to a sorcerer king after all.
What? Oh, it's you! What news? What? You found it? Oh, this is excellent news.
Here it is. The Staff of Pergamon.
Careful that it doesn't wind up in the wrong hands again, Mr. Mayor.
Wonderful! Oh, it's simply wonderful! Come, come. You must let me thank you somehow. I've got it. A 3 months honorary membership to the Sicil Library. You managed to drive him away? But what if he comes back? Someone wants to see Victoria dead? That cherub of the book? That seraph of the library? Outrageous! Hear you me. You must stop. They truly are fabulous. Maxine? What in heaven's name are you? Oh, you mean the mongrel that's always skulking about the place. I spent months trying to teach that worthless hound how to fetch, and it sat through every lesson looking at me as if I were an idiot. Man's best friend, my eye. I've always been more fond of cats myself.
I knew that dark-dealing old man dabbled in source. To the gallows, I say.
The gallows? I've never seen one myself. I don't think I care to either.
Wargroth gives you a knowing look. He seems to think the mayor is a few arrows short of a quiver.
A source delirium if ever I saw.
My Shadu World Shaper, this bedeviled staff has cost us time in spades. Can we please attend to more urgent matters? I can tell you if you wish, but you'd have to listen to the tale of my life, because my future, such as it is rooted deeply into my history. By all means, if you're in the mood for such a dark tale. Once upon a time, I was a king in a land of beauty to the east. A land of tigers and slender towers, of deserts and forests, of sun and all the world's wealth. I was a young king, handsome and all-powerful. Every nobleman would have killed his own brother if I promised to take his daughter's hand in marriage. But I refused their incessant implorations. I knew my life as a sovereign would be self-indulgent, but also a self-delusory one, if I weren't to marry for love. And so a handful of years went by. The king's throne I myself occupied, whereas the queen's throne remained empty but for the court's cats that would nap the afternoons away upon its velvet cushions. But then one day, a young woman visited my kingdom. She was a poetess and a storyteller. People flocked to her, listened to her every word as if receiving mantras from the divines. I invited her to my palace, and soon our days, our nights, our love and our lives intertwined. Hiraka. How I miss her still. Miss the brilliance of her mind that was both as sparkling and as unbreakable as the diamonds that adorned her body. Oh, and how I miss her body. 1,000 artists I could have commanded, show me beauty. But she would have effortlessly surpassed their every endeavor, and curving her lips into a smile, make them break their sculptures in tearful impotence. And yet, true happiness, that commodity more precious and even more fleeting than the dominion of kings, sang to us like the nightingale, only to depart come the dawn of our first year's unity. A malady overtook me, and I began to wither. It was an unparalleled horror. Scores of physicians flocked to my bedside. They traveled from realms across the seas, hoping to cure the mighty Jehan, undo the gloom that had befallen the land, and mere vultures that they were, to be paid handsomely for their efforts. But none of their potions took effect. Their salves seared, but did not soothe my fading flesh. Like a ghoul I looked, unburied yet risen from the grave. In futile anger I struck my mirror, but broke my brittle fingers only, not its ever-mocking surface. That, Hunter, is a tale for later. I realize I haven't answered your initial question yet. Why it is that I chase time like a lioness its prey. But we'll get to that part later. should time permit. And so let the hunt continue.
Who would have thought it? Jehan, an all-powerful king, stricken by a horrid plague, the memory of which plagues him still.
No wonder. From the sound of it, he was at death's door.
The higher your station, the deeper you may fall. He may live, but clearly Jehan is a king no longer.
Still thinking about exploring the beach? You're free to go, though we Legionnaires are under the gate is unlocked. As source hunters, you're free to come and go as you please.
better already.
Try to withstand this wintry blast.
You don't have a leg to stand on.
I can't move! I am restored!